This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with a 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute, and available reclining lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
It feels more and more accurate based on today's times.
Accurate to what?
What to expect.
What to expect from what?
The end times.
One big-ass rocket ship where they save everybody on Earth? If anything, it made me call horseshit on more things.
You think they saved everybody? Or you think they just saved the elites?
I mean, okay, I'm willing to accept that maybe they saved the elites, but then that makes me like these characters even less.
Really?
Yeah.
Before we start, I do have this note later on, but what part of this movie is just another version of Whiplash?
None.
Oh my God.
None.
None? What?
Not my tempo, Zach.
Whiplash, the movie with J.K. Simmons?
Yeah.
No.
I bet you Kobe Bryant liked this movie too.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't like Whiplash either.
What?
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Your picks have been horrible, man.
It's the point. That's the point of the show. Isn't it? Isn't it? It's possible. I don't understand what this podcast is about.
Poppycock. It's a fuck house.
On a weekly basis, we are consuming more concentrated bad movies than probably anybody in the history of mankind.
Poppycock.
What story? What story? What are you talking about?
Do you want lunch?
I have yet to laugh in this movie. I'll just tell you that.
You picked it, motherfucker. So just remember that.
You know what the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit. Unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
I was legitimately offended.
You were offended?
I was offended.
I didn't know you could get offended.
I was offended.
This did it.
If I were gay, I wouldn't be offended.
They're fucking making shit up, Amin.
Inconsequential detail after inconsequential detail after inconsequential detail.
Bees don't lie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm holding a mic in my hands, and now I'm talking all alone.
Welcome to Cinephobe, the podcast where we break down the movies you're afraid to admit you love. I'm Zach Harper, that's Amin Hassan, that's Anthony Mayes. If you have a submission, reminder, it needs to be 40% or lower on Rotten Tomatoes for the audience or critic score. Just hit us up on Twitter, at TalkHoops, at Darth Amin, at Cornpuzzle, or hit us up in the Discord if you are a subscriber to the Patreon, patreon.com/countthedings. You have a whole Cinephobe channel to throw comments in there, discuss the movies, offer up suggestions, all that good stuff.
Now, let me save you all the trouble. This is the last episode of Cinephobe. I'm never doing this again.
Really?
That's it, man. I was
going out
talking
on top, huh?
Right before you came on, I told Mays, I said, we joke around about, this is the one that's going to end the show. This was the one that ended the show. Straight up.
I told you, look, this is on you.
I don't care what your reasoning is.
This is on you. I've got movies I know we're going to enjoy.
Well, I mean, then that's your fault. Then I hope you enjoy.
No, it's not my fault because when it's time for me to pick my movie,
no,
you start shitting on me. You start accusing me of juicing numbers or anything like that. I'm coming out here with my heart. I'm picking with my heart. I'm picking with my brain. I'm I'm giving genuine picks here.
So first of all, you just called out your own horseshit by saying, I'm going with my heart, I'm going with my brain.
I'm going with both.
Which one is it?
You know what? Sometimes they're tied together.
Yeah, then they're both stupid. You have a stupid heart and a stupid brain.
No. Because here's the thing. I mean, you start coming after me, I got a list of ones I know we'll like, and I got a list of ones that'll hurt us.
Hey, Mayes, when was the last unanimous pick that you had?
Along Came Polly.
What episode was that?
40.
No. We just had 47. We all unanimously phobed movie 43.
Future. Now that's a future callback. See what you just did there? You did an actual... No, you didn't. Shit, fuck. I still got it wrong. Never mind.
It doesn't matter. It's the last one anyway.
It's the last one.
All at the table.
Again, your last unanimous green, Mayes, was episode 40, Along Came Polly. My last unanimous green was episode 41, the one right after, Tango and Cash. Even the fans had a unanimous green. Episode 37, Teen Wolf 2. You know when your last unanimous green was, Zach?
Actually, we both kind of picked Teen Wolf 2.
No, that was a fan pick.
It was Damon's suggestion from a long time ago.
After we did it on Mad Dog.
Oh, my bad. You're right. That was my pick too then.
That was our pick.
To put it in perspective, the last time Zach picked the unanimous file was before we did the April Fool's Departed episode. That's how far back it was.
Well, some of that's your fault, I mean.
How's that my fault?
Because you're phobing these.
Phobing your awful picks?
I'm sorry. How did we like Ghost Rider, Maze?
Okay, here we go.
I gave you that one.
Yeah, I feel well, you gave it to me. I mean, Nick Cage gave it to us.
I felt bad for you.
You felt bad for me.
Other than that, you're the only one who's like the single one of your picks.
Right. So since Double Impact, this has been Zach's picks. Primal.
Great movie.
One file. I'll give you a guess who had it. Cop Out.
Monocle wearing motherfucker.
One file. I'll give you a guess who got it. I Am Wrath.
Oh,
One file.
Come on.
I'll give you a guess who picked it.
An experience.
Ghost Rider, 2 files. Maze just admitted that it was a pity file. And then Catwoman, 1 file.
Oh, I'm sorry. Catwoman, the one that everyone today is saying that's the best episode we've ever done? Yeah, horrible pick.
Since Double Impact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes. 3 of them I've had to pay money to watch.
We'll get into that now. To be fair...
No, I don't want to be fair anymore.
No. This one, in the app I have, said it's on Sci-Fi, right? So you can just go to the Sci-Fi app. But when I clicked the link, it came up with a 404 error. That it does not exist on Sci-Fi anymore, apparently.
Good.
Yes. Attaboy Sci-Fi. Way to go.
Well, not attaboy, because now you had to pay for it.
The Sci-Fi channel didn't even want to have it anymore. Sci-Fi.
All
with
right.
Wise.
By the way, this week on Cinephobe, we watched the 2013 action-adventure sci-fi After Earth.
You understand how bad you have to be for Sci-Fi, the network they brought us about 7 Sharknadoes, to say, not anymore. Not for us.
This used to be on FX for a long time. It was on FX.
They got bought by Disney and decided they wanted quality on this network.
Yeah, did they? I don't know about that. All right, After Earth stars Will and Jaden Smith. Will Smith plays Cypher Rage.
Jesus Christ.
He's coming off of Men in Black 3 and would cameo in Anchorman 2 later on in 2013. He also had A Winter's Tale coming up in 2014.
General shitty movies all around for Will Smith.
Jaden was in Karate Kid in 2010. He stars in about 1 million short videos that I think he produced. He'd be in the TV movie Brothers in Atlanta in 2016. We also get Zoe Kravitz in this. She was in X-Men First Class in 2011, would be in Divergent in 2014.
The only other memorable actor in this entire movie is the dude who plays the taunting security guard.
Yeah, the guy from Fate of the Furious.
No.
Torment.
Yeah, Torment from...
Well, I don't know if that's his name in Fate of the Furious.
The big woman's still here?
People know him from Fate of the Furious, right? He was one of the bad guys.
He's Torment. He'll be Torment for life.
No. Maze, just let him take a dump all over this episode. It's the last episode. It's like when you're moving out and you already got the security deposit back. Go ahead, man. Have a party. Whatever.
After Earth is written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. He's directed The Village, Lady in the Water, and The Happening. He also wrote those 3 movies, and you can add Stuart Little to his writing credits.
His decline over the years.
Decline.
That's
Really incredible. Sixth Sense, 1999, 86%. Unbreakable, 2000, 70%. Signs, 2002, 74%.
Ooh, Signs sucks, by the way. Signs is a terrible movie.
Signs is the only one I actually like. I didn't like Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense, I famously, 15 minutes in the movie, I said, he's dead, isn't he? I said that out loud in the theater and I got shushed.
I was about to see it. I picked up the phone. My grandma, who you sent to hell, rightfully so, on the Thanksgiving episode of the Mailbag years ago. When I was about to leave for the movie theater, I said, I'm going to go see Sixth Sense. And she said, oh, yeah, that's the one where the kid's dead the whole time. Because she had seen it previously. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't need to see it. So then I didn't see it for 12 years.
And then every 2 years, like clockwork. The Village, 2004, 43%.
Oof, bad.
Terrible.
Lady in the Water, 2006, 25%.
Terrible.
The Happening, 2008, 18%.
Terrible.
Future Cinephobe.
Last Airbender, 2010, 5%.
Oof.
Terrible.
And then this movie.
Will Smith also gets a story credit for this one.
Oh.
It's his first movie writing credit.
Yeah, he gets a lot of quote-unquote credit for this one.
Gary Whitta also gets a screenplay credit. He wrote Back to the Future 2, the video game. He wrote Book of Eli. He wrote Walking Dead video games and Rogue One.
Yeah, he has the story credit for Rogue One.
There's a dude who worked for Lucasfilm who came up with the story with just the idea. And then they gave him a credit. I wonder if it's Gary Whitta.
It probably is.
No, it was John. I'm sorry. It was John Knoll. John Knoll was the guy that did it. Not Gary Whitta. Go fuck yourself.
Time for the NBC The More You Know graphic. Synopsis for After Earth. A crash landing leaves Katai Rage and his father Cypher stranded on Earth. A millennium after events force humanity's escape. With Cypher injured, Katai must embark on a perilous journey to signal for help.
Katai! Take a knee!
Tagline. Danger is real. Fear is a choice.
Stupid.
It's kind of a good message.
No.
$130 million estimated budget. Grossed $60.5 million US. But $243 million worldwide.
I hate you. I hate you, international market. You stupid foreigners.
Before listening to the rest of this podcast, you'll probably have to rent it if you want to watch this movie.
Don't. I'm telling you right now. You know what? Skip this episode. It's the last one anyway.
Wow.
After Earth receives 11% from critics on 207 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. 36% from the audience on over 121,000 ratings. Amin, would you like the positive or the negative reviews?
Show me these fucking positive reviewers. Bring them out. Line them up for me. Give them their last cigarette. Blindfold them.
Because you're a glass half full kind of guy, I mean.
Yes, sorry. I know you got to do that drop in there.
Well, everybody's just thinking about the negative. Well, I think the glass is half full. Everybody thinks it's half empty.
Charlie Jane Anders of i09.com.
Of course.
After Earth stays grounded and manages to tell a pretty decent story.
Stays what?
Grounded and manages to tell a pretty decent story.
Oh, my God.
Ron Gonzalez of efilmcritic.com. It's not Shyamalan's fault. He did his best with what he was given. He deserves another shot.
More on that in the trivia section of this episode.
He gets unlimited shots.
Michael A. Smith of Media Mics. Visually impressive, but sadly incredulous, After Earth is only redeemed by the performances of the Smith family.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Redeemed by their performances?
Jim Shembry of 3AW. By any fair measure, After Earth is actually quite a nifty, pacey adventure film, even though it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who has not made a good film since his 1999 debut, The Sixth Sense.
I didn't know 3LW was still around.
3AW.
Oh.
Mark Ellis of Schmoes Know. It may not be the complete return to form for Shyamalan, but After Earth has all the goods necessary for an entertaining summer ride.
All the ingredients.
What are those ingredients? I know one. It's apparently heaps of shit.
Will Smith, a spaceship.
I mean, Will Smith is one of the most accomplished actors at the box office of all time. $243 million for this one. Up in the air. Cam Williams of AALBC.com. A simplistic father-son morality play strictly for little kids and die-hard Will and Jaden Smith fans. Destined to be added to the pantheon of inadvertently funny blaxploitation flicks with a devoted cult following.
Blaxploitation?
That didn't really qualify to me.
Devoted cult following?
Also interesting.
Well, I mean, Scientologists.
Not even they like it.
Drew McWeeny of HitFix.
Yes, let's hear what Drew McWeeny has to say.
The film offers some very knowing examples of the way both parents and children have to adjust their thinking over the course of their relationship, wrapped up in a visually dynamic world that simply makes the stakes feel more urgent.
No, I fell asleep twice.
Last one. Last positive review. Michelle Alexandria of Eclipse magazine. The movie spent a lot of time teetering on the verge of failure, but both Smiths pull it back and make it fairly enjoyable. Jaden Smith proves that he is a star. Haters gonna hate.
Just go ahead. Just go.
Hater reviews. Richard Brody of The New Yorker. As drama, After Earth offers no surprises. As action, it's rarely stimulating. As a parenting manual, it seems that Will has thrown Jaden into water that's a little too deep.
No, he didn't throw him in there. He held his head underwater.
Derek Malcolm of the London Evening Standard. The problem is that the film is chock full of cliches and stymied by production design and CG effects that look as if the worst of the Star Wars series was being devoutly copied.
Like they stole the plans.
Ah! Rogue One. Callback. Future callback. Regular callback? Medium callback. Nigel Andrews of Financial Times. Why is Financial Times reviewing this movie? It is all as predictable as Christmas, assuming your Christmases, like mine, start feral before turning cozy. Tom Huddleston of Time Out. Most disappointing is the film's lack of ambition, as what could have been a sparky mainstream space opera becomes just another tedious jungle chase movie.
Another tedious case.
Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly. The movie takes off from a concept as basic as a video game, and it sticks to that concept without surprise.
Yep.
Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. After Earth merits comparison with 2000's Battlefield Earth, John Travolta's god-awful film tribute to the sci-fi novel by Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. Yes, it's that bad.
You know what's crazy, Amin?
What's that?
I wish it did.
Honestly, this makes Battlefield Earth feel like Citizen Kane.
Oh, really? The one that only I filed?
Yeah, that's not a compliment, Zach.
Oh, all of a sudden you like it, though. Billy Goodykuntz of Arizona Republic.
Wow. On brand.
Sorry, I read that name wrong. Bill Goodykuntz of Arizona Republic. Some of After Earth is intriguing if you ignore the premise and the story and the direction and much of Jaden Smith's performance. Other than that, ... And then we have 2 user reviews. User Hasindu L gave it 2 out of 5 stars. After Earth looks so before Earth to me.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
And user Matthew C gave it a half star out of 5. 9 sick face emojis. 9 even sicker face emojis. M. Night's worst crime against cinema ever.
Again, more on that later.
Amin, what's your first note?
First note is...
Oh, I thought it was just the sigh.
Yeah, it should have been. What is this accent? It's because he's doing a little monologue over the top. And I said, sounds like Team America World Police. We were struggling to find life. And remember how they talk in Team America?
You mean the only voice that South Park does?
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're getting a lot of panic noises as the movie starts. It looks like Will Smith just told Jaden Smith he's the captain now with some eye pointing, both wearing breathing devices. Lots of screaming, and then we hear a crash of some sort, and Will goes flying down a tunnel. Jaden is laying in the forest of some kind, and he looks pretty fucked up. And then my next note is, what is this accent? Now, I'll admit, I started watching this movie yesterday. As soon as he jumps into the monologue where he said, I've heard stories of Earth, I turned it off and was like, I'll just watch it tomorrow morning. I wasn't ready. Now, I had a lot to do yesterday, so I was going to try to squeeze it in the morning, but as soon as he said, I've heard stories of Earth, I just said, you know what? Maze, clip this in, and I'll go tomorrow morning when I have less to do.
I've heard stories of Earth. A paradise. Until we destroyed it.
He's doing his alien voice, because I feel like I've heard Jaden Smith do this voice before.
Really?
Because he's a weird-ass dude.
Is it possible for him to be normal? Like, was there ever a chance of him being normal?
That is,
with as famous as his parents are.
Considering that they had 2 shots, they turned out extra weird. They're weird for famous people's kids.
Yeah, I guess so.
I will never, ever, ever forget the, New York Times article where they interviewed both of them. They're not humans, so Not hard for him to do an alien voice.
Everybody is always so like, oh, I don't want to do this because of this, or these people will think this.
I don't want to wear this because I'm a boy, or I'm a girl and I need to act this type of way.
And nobody ever thinks is like, yo, who made all these rules?
Yeah.
Like, who was here and who made all these rules? Because I'm equally as smart as them, and I don't necessarily agree with all the rules that they established before I came into the picture. And it's just like, we think that these rules are just like done deal things that are just like, it is what it is, set in stone, but it's like, maybe they are, maybe they're not, but it's like, you decide your own path, and you decide your own rules, and that's what Misfits is all about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about breaking the rules. If you love the rules and you agree, then you agree, and that's perfect. That's what it's about. You're a misfit in that way. It's just about making your own rules.
We get a montage of environmentally unsound things. Smokestacks, buildings on fire, floods. I'm not sure the floods are our fault.
Hey, so like, why did they move off of Earth? Oh, you know the regular shit, man. Why are you asking me questions? That's what it felt like.
The founding of the United Ranger Corps 1,000 years ago was a global military effort in evacuation of Earth. The Rangers would lead the settlement of mankind's new home, Nova Prime. Apparently Nova Prime had aliens. They bred something to kill humans called the Ursa. Is that how evolution works? Can they just breed something that quickly?
Well, when you yada yada the prologue, sure.
Why are you asking me questions? They just got it done, okay?
Ursas are blind, but they can see humans based on the pheromones we secrete when frightened. They literally smell our fear. Rangers were asked to save humans from Ursas, and Cypher Rage, the original ghost, was the leader. He is believed to be so devoid of fear that he is invisible to an Ursa. The phenomenon is known as ghosting. Now, ghosting through text was definitely a thing back in 2013. It feels a little lazy.
I almost ghosted this movie.
Now we go to 3 days earlier for some reason. Why couldn't they just start? Oh, never mind.
3 days earlier.
It's because this movie's about climate change, Zach.
Some kind of training in the desert canyons. Jaden Smith is running to the front of the running group. Someone yells, "This isn't a race, cadet," and Jaden is booking it. His test scores are impressive. He's great in the classroom, but he collapses in the field. He's not being advanced. He has to wait another year.
Why do all these movies in the future always have people wearing onesies? Have you ever noticed that?
I think that's the future.
I don't want it to be the future. Or at least I want it to happen after I'm dead. You know how hard it is to go to a bathroom if you're wearing a onesie?
Well, I mean, this is 1,000 years in the future. I don't think you're going to live to 1,000, so I think you're in the clear.
You never know, man. The miracles of modern day science.
Jaden poorly delivers his accented lines, says he's displayed the conduct of a ranger and would like the commander to reconsider his assessment.
Sir.
His dad is returning home tonight, and he wants to be able to tell him he's a ranger.
That's a very compelling argument when you want to join the army and you haven't made the cut. You're like, but my daddy's coming home. Oh, come on, man.
He always looks like he's about to cry, and I can't tell if that's acting or if that's just his face.
It's his eyebrows. They're slanted in such a way where it's always tear-inducing.
Would you call them cry brows?
Yeah, I would actually.
Oh, okay.
Eyebrows. Yeah.
Will Smith is back home. He embraces his wife. He asks Jaden how the finals were. Says he wasn't advanced to Ranger, and Will Smith asks him, "Where do we look when we speak?" So now he has to tell him once again while looking him right in the eye. Will makes him say, "Sir." That's when my note is this movie just sci-fi whiplash? Maze, it feels like it is.
He's real hard ass, and they're eating with clear 3-pronged chopsticks.
Yeah, that's also something that's pretty confusing. Jaden says he's going to his room. Will asks if he's telling him or asking him.
May I go to my room, sir?
Denied! Sit down!
Is this movie just them working out some family stuff?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, like this is like Pursuit of Happiness. I understand, right? Because Jaden's a little kid and it's like positively uplifting. But what is it like to go to work with your dad every day and have a movie that he made about yelling at you?
It's a great question. Will gives the wife a necklace, says he has one more trip to take for work, and then he's announcing his retirement. Says he wants his family back and he wants her back too. She says that the boy is trying to find him. He's a feeling boy. He's an intuitive boy. He's reading a book that their daughter used to read with Will.
Settle down, Maze.
She says he has a son he doesn't know. He blames himself for what happened to Senshi, which I guess is the sister.
Didn't know it was a sister for the longest time.
He doesn't need a commanding officer, he needs a father.
He also brings her a ball sack necklace.
Yeah.
As a gift.
You know what they're like? They're like truck nuts.
I've been across the galaxy and
Is there a scenario in which you'd put truck nuts on a car?
Oh, you call those truck nuts? Oh, that's tight, actually. I like that.
You never heard that?
I didn't make up that term.
Yeah, that's a thing.
No, never.
Like, all right, let's throw this scenario out there. You're in witness protection. You're in the South. Do you put truck nuts on your car just to, just to fit in.
No, because then that would make me stick out even more. The black guy with truck nuts.
Yeah, do they attract more attention or are they camouflage?
What if they're black truck nuts?
Then I'm pretty sure me and my truck would get lynched.
All right. Jaden is just in his room.
Oh, the last episode of Cinephobe took a turn, did it?
Will says he needs to pack his bags. He's going with him to Ephitos.
So we're 1,000 years into the future, and apparently the new wave is to have hammocks instead of beds.
I like that, man. I love a hammock.
Okay, how do you fuck in a hammock? Can you have sex in a hammock?
Can you fuck in a hammock? No.
I think you can make it happen.
No, I mean, okay, actually, yes. She's got to be...
Yeah, she's got to be on top.
She's got to use it like a sex swing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're standing.
You're standing?
Standing?
Next to the hammock.
We're envisioning different things.
No. I'm talking about you're in the hammock, like in the bed.
She's in the hammock. I'm telling you, use it like a sex swing.
No, I'm asking you. So that's the only way you can have sex in the hammock?
That's the only way I envision it.
Maze.
I mean, it seems a lot like the same technique you would need to use in a waterbed. You just kind of go with it. Like, you're not doing too much motion. You just kind of ride in the hammock.
I don't think you can ride a hammock.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence in that situation. But then again, it's Jaden Smith, so he's probably not having that much sex in.
They're getting ready to take off, and a soldier missing his leg hovers over to Cypher in some kind of chair. Says he was on, I don't know, plateau or some shit, seeing his family. Tells his friends to stand him up. He says, that won't be necessary, Ranger. He says, stand me up. This doesn't feel like a good friend thing to do. To make him stand up.
Also, the woman soldier who's briefing Cypher Rage, she has the most insane posture in the world. She's arching her back like there's no tomorrow while standing up.
It's crazy. Yeah. He salutes Cypher, which apparently he couldn't do from a seated position.
Future callback.
Yeah.
Jaden is amazed by the reverence as Cypher helps him back into his hover chair. Either that or he's just stoned out of his mind. I couldn't tell. He also sees them loading an Ursa cage into the ship, and we're off to Ephitos.
I thought that looked like a giant lychee nut.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the coronavirus. Again.
Oh, shit.
Very with the times.
I thought it looked like just one ball sack.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta get that checked.
One testicle.
You gotta get that checked.
I spent way too much time looking at exotic fruit, trying to figure out which exotic fruit it looked like to me.
I thought you were going with this. Thank God you said exotic fruit. Will and Jaden are sitting on the ship. Jaden keeps looking at Will, giving him this awkward smile of acknowledgement. Does it again and again. He smiles. He tells him that he's reading Moby Dick. And Cypher says, your mother told me. That's great.
And then he immediately, there's an announcement. It's the 7-hour flight. He's like, let's get some sleep.
Yep. Father-son time over.
Question. Do you guys sleep on planes?
Oh, yeah. I knock out.
Can't. Too uncomfortable.
Really?
Too big for the world.
I'm telling you, Maze. You first, obviously, you know the emergency exit, but you get a window. Yeah,
window.
And you hit that window, man. There's many a time where I fall asleep before we've even taken off. There actually was a time, shout out to American Airlines, where I boarded, took my seat, fell asleep. I mean, slept. Woke up, looked out the window, saw the airport, said, wow, we already landed. Turned out there had been a 2-hour delay on the tarmac. And I had slept through it, and we hadn't moved an inch.
Was that worse than this podcast?
No, absolutely not.
There was a time where there was like 5 or 6 flights in a row where I was asleep on the plane, and I was woken up by the landing. Like, you're kind of jolted, and so like I was giving out like these like half-ass screams because I would feel like the jolt, and then it would wake me up. And it was as we were landing. It was fucking weird for the people around me.
Wait, you're like, nah.
Yeah, it was like a lot of like. Ah! And it happened like 5 or 6 times in a row. It really did. I couldn't stop it.
If he's the general, why are they flying in coach?
Because he's a soldier. Don't take any whatever. I don't know. Who gives a shit?
Cypher's grabbing some rack time. They lean back and sleep. Jaden can't sleep. He walks around the ship. He goes to a no entry restricted area, and that's when the guy from Fate of the Furious says,
"Can you read?" I said, "Can you read?"
Yes, sir.
Well, there's a sign back there. Authorized personnel only. Why didn't you read that?
Does everyone have a bad accent?
Then Roy from The Office says to go easy on the kid. That's Prime Commander's son.
Shout out to Roy.
Still getting work.
Barely.
Yeah, I guess still getting work by that, I mean 2013.
1 line? 2 lines?
Yeah, he says, you're Rage's kid. Jaden wants to know what's in the cage. There's a flashback of him as a small kid with his sister. The guy then asks if he wants to see if he can ghost. You know what I felt here, Amin? Sexual tension.
Oh, boy.
He's a little too interested in Jaden.
That's May's line.
Cypher wakes up and feels the wall. Ghosting is when you don't have a trace of fear. We're getting cuts of flashback to the sister and then him being scared in the present.
You knew it was his sister this whole time?
Well, I've seen this movie 7 times.
Oh, my God.
I didn't know who they were talking about when they said her name at the beginning of the movie, and then this flashback is pretty much incomprehensible, but yeah, I mean, probably like the second or third time I figured it out.
I thought it was his mother and that like the woman back home is like his stepmom.
No, not the case. He says most people freeze because the cerebral cortex is looking for answers it doesn't have. And that's when Roy says, see, even your brain knows you're screwed.
Zoe Kravitz, hot or not?
Hot. What?
I gotta say, I don't really know what she looks like, even though I just watched this movie.
She looks exactly like her mom, who's a legendary babe, and also looks like her dad, who is a legendary babe.
I just know that, like, in X-Men, I was like, oh, she's kind of hot. And in this movie, I'm like, no.
With that After Earth stank on her. He's explained to Jaden how his body is reacting to the fear. Then we get a flashback of the kid yelling for his sister. Then Jaden jumps back into real time. Cypher walks in. Preparing for a crash of some sort, Cypher asks the pilots about the last known asteroid storm.
Lots of random jargon here. Random made-up jargon.
Cypher detected graviton something or other in the hull.
Made me roll my eyes.
Because he holds his ring to the side of the ship and feels vibrations.
Says mass expansion could be happening.
But mass expansion is 1 in a million.
Says to hold course and hope he's wrong.
It's such a Team America World Police, like that whole part. Like, the voices, the accents, the jargon. It's 1 in a million. Just like May said it like that. It's all just so Team America World Police.
Looks like he's going to be wrong, and then a ripple in space happens. Asteroids are now everywhere. Jaden cries for his dad like a little bitch. Pilot says she's a dead stick. Engines are offline. They're going to try wormhole travel to get out of it.
They're trying to worm her travel as well.
What?
Is Will Smith standing up during this whole thing?
Yes.
Even when he passes his seatbelt, he's still standing up somehow.
Yeah, well, you got to be ready, man. He's a soldier. Prime commander. Cypher says to do it without confirmation. They fire through the wormhole. The ship is fucked up. Jaden gets an oxygen mask. The only place they can land is Earth. And the computer warns them that this planet has been deemed unfit for human habitation, placed under Class 1 quarantine by the Interplanetary Authority. I kind of like when they half-ass these organization names. Interplanetary Authority. It doesn't really mean anything.
The idea is that what? There are multiple planets now? This is Star Trek where like we have other life forms that are down for the cause? Or no, we're just trying to think of something that sounds very Star Trek-y, but not quite.
Warping out of an asteroid field. I feel like there's like 3 different movies that have done that.
Yes.
Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Star Wars. That's real hopping, Zach.
Oh, that's right. Cypher says to land somewhere else. They say the ship won't handle it. They can't do it. He walks down to Jaden, who's panicking like crazy. Cypher pats him on the chest, says to look at him.
Oh, you missed the greatest piece of jargon. When he walks out of the cockpit, goes back to calm down Jaden. The pilot, the Indian pilot, who I thought should have been M. Night Shyamalan. This is the only movie of his where he has not made an appearance.
It's racist.
Spoiler alert.
The racist spoiler alert.
And he says, Mayday, Mayday, this is Hesper 2909er. By the way, military alphabet, H is not Hesper, it's hotel. But they decided Hesper.
Well, this is the Interplanetary Authority.
It's 3071, I mean.
Yeah.
But they still use Mayday. Imagine that. Oh, yeah, I hear silence on the line. Because you two fuckers are like...
Well, yeah, why are you going to completely reinvent the wheel?
It's 3071, I mean.
It's 3071, not 4071. Of course they're still using Mayday. What's wrong with you?
Mayday, Mayday, this is Hesper 2909er. We took heavy damage in an asteroid storm and going down with bingo power. I fucking hate them so much. Bingo power.
Bingo power. Cypher's trying to calm him down. He's trying to calm his breathing. Then we get a breach in the hull. Will Smith goes flying. Ship breaks apart. Crashes onto Earth. Jaden passes out.
I laughed.
Now we've got Jaden waking up in the ship. Jaden unties a dead body and then just kicks it down a hole.
Yeah.
Like, just kicks a dead body down a hole.
He wanted to be in the army.
Jaden is searching the ship. Cypher is trapped under some debris and he's unconscious. He wakes up.
How's he alive?
Tells Jaden to stand up and evaluate.
How is he alive?
He feels his own shoulder and says he's good to go.
How is he alive?
Cypher says confirm the Ursa's contained. The back of the ship is torn off. Cypher says for the Rangers to count off. Nobody says shit because they're all dead and they've been kicked down holes by Jaden. Cypher then tells Jaden to go to the cockpit to find the emergency beacon. He finds it, but it's broken. The leg of Cypher is bleeding. They power up a computer. Jaden, again, just dropping dead body after dead body into this hole.
That's great.
It's almost like it's a game.
Both the emergency beacon and the ship look like spatulas.
They do. Yeah,
Yes,
good call.
They do.
Cypher shows Jaden on a map the tail of the ship where the other emergency beacon exists. It's 100 kilometers away. I have no idea how far that is.
60 miles, basically.
60 miles? This motherfucker went 60 miles?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Wow.
Cypher says both of his legs are broken, one very badly.
I'm still alive, but I'm very badly injured. I think my legs might be broken, but I'll try to stand up.
Ah! Yes, they are broken. Perhaps you could toss me a Band-Aid or some antibacterial cream. I'm in an extraordinarily large amount of pain. The bone has gone through the skin. I fear it might be gangrenous. The wound is beginning to smell a little like almonds, which is not good. Please? No one?
Sorry.
I'll try the other leg. Oh!
That's immediately where my mind went.
Very badly broken.
Mustafa.
You're going to retrieve that beacon or we're going to die. Repeat what I just said. He gives him filtration inhalers. Fluid coats his lungs, increasing oxygen extraction, allowing him to breathe more comfortably.
Isn't Earth... Oh, never mind.
No, because we destroyed it. It's about climate change. We poisoned the planet, Amin.
It's like you weren't paying attention. Explains the suit has digital imaging so Cypher can see whatever Jaden sees and does not see.
GoPro backpack.
Exposition.
Oh my god, half this movie is him just explaining the technology. Do we think that these body cams were installed for the Rangers for an incident that happened? Because that's what this is. It's just body cams.
It was so stupid because it's like, it was on the back of the backpack or something?
I don't know, man.
Oh, we have these cameras so I can see what you're doing. But also, I can't see what you're doing. So you need to tell me all the time.
Says to take his cutlass. It has 22 configurations.
Qatar, every single decision you make will be life or death. This is a Class 1 quarantined planet. Everything on this planet has evolved to kill humans. Do you know where we are?
No, sir.
This is Earth.
Flashback to the Ursa murdering his sister.
Way too many flashbacks of that.
It's a lot of flashbacks to the same fucking thing over and over.
They don't even add more to it or add any, like...
No.
It's just the same goddamn thing over and over.
The three possibilities for the Ursa. First and most likely, it died in the crash. Second and less likely, it is injured very badly and still contained.
Yeah, like Mustafa.
Third and least likely, it's out.
But mass expansion is 1 in a million.
They're going to proceed under worst likely scenario. Every protocol will be escape and evade. Isn't that the same word?
Yeah, first of all, it is the same word. It's like run and sprint. But also, I just imagine the Ursa saying, I have escaped, but I'm very badly injured.
That's its trap. He'll see the Ursa long before it sees Jaden.
Isn't it blind?
I'd make another note that Jaden is just acting like a bitch. Hugs his dad. He's really just a coward. 2 steps out of the ship and Jaden freaks out. Busts out the cutlass.
2 steps out of the ship? Before the ship even crashed, he was acting like a bitch. The whole movie is him acting like a bitch, and it's like, it would make sense if it was like a boy trying to impress his father or whatever, but it's like, you joined the military! You went and took tests and trained for a year!
But Amin, he collapses in the field.
Cypher says to take a knee. Root yourself in the present moment now. Sight, sound, smell. What do you feel? My body feels heavier. Earth's gravitational pull is heavier than it is at home. He's free climbing a wall. A tarantula's on his hand. He freaks out. Cypher didn't see it. Jaden lies, says he slipped. He's good to go.
Casual 500-foot free climb before his 100-kilometer journey.
With the gravitational pull being heavier than what he's used to. There are birds everywhere. There are buffalo or bison everywhere. Cypher starts a remote probe recon, fires off all these drones looking for the Ursa. He reiterates that the Navaband on his arm is their sole means of communication. Exposition. Temperatures on the planet fluctuate dangerously and dramatically. Majority of the planet freezes at night, but there are hot spots. Has to reach a hot spot before nightfall each evening.
I heard them reference hot spots, and I didn't know what they were talking about because this is around the time I think I began to fall asleep.
It's because he can't use data at night.
Right.
Because he'll run out of data.
On Boost Mobile.
Anytime only happens.
Cypher does an x-ray of himself, and that femur is fucked up. It's like Joe Theismann. Needs an arterial shunt. He's about to hit a class 3 painkiller, but it's going to make him drowsy. Then he has a flashback to Senshi trying to talk to him while he's on a mission. She shows him Moby Dick copy from a museum that a boy gave her, said to hold on to it.
Hold on to what?
That's when Will Smith makes a dick joke to his daughter.
He's an overprotective dad.
Back to reality, he doesn't take the painkiller. Jaden is going through a forest, feeling up a
whoa,
tree.
Whoa. There's also chatter about killing whales, which, we can't have because this is about climate change.
True.
This is before the age of carbon fuels.
There are hyenas on the probe cameras, but not the Earth. So Jaden's suit turns black, and he tells Cypher, I like it, but I think it's something bad. Then we get the exposition. Your suit is made of smart fabric. It has motion sensors. It's tracking a life form, closing in rapidly.
Is Will Smith Captain Exposition in this movie? Should we just call him that?
Prime Commander Exposition.
Prime Commander.
Jaden is freaking out. Sees some kind of, it's like a baboon or something. I don't know what that animal was.
Swole monkey.
Cypher says not to move. Recognize your power. This will be your creation. That doesn't mean anything. Jaden then throws a rock at it.
He tells him it's coming from the west. And Jaden starts turning around in full circles. You're supposed to be in the goddamn military.
Well, he collapsed in the field.
His smart fabric suit doesn't have a compass.
Now a fuckload of baboons show up. I mean, it is a lot of baboons.
Yeah, there's just one on the radar before, but
now they just all uncloak. Jaden is freaking out, screaming to get away, starts running. Cypher leads him to a river. Jaden parkours onto a giant fallen tree. He makes the river, and the baboons won't follow him in.
Ah, yes. Monkeys don't like water. Classic.
And then he gets to the other side of it. He's still running. Cypher says they're no longer in pursuit. You're not being followed. He's booking it. He goes, you're running from nothing.
Is that supposed to be funny? Was that meant for comedic relief?
I don't know. Because Will Smith is also funny, but not funny.
He's not funny in this movie.
Yeah, well, not in this movie, right. I'm just talking about it in general. All right, he finally stops. He pulls out the cutlass. Cypher says to put it away and take a knee. Cypher says that he's showing rapid blood contamination and needs to do a physical assessment. Asks if he's cut. Jaden says he's dizzy and there's a leech on his hand of some sort. It's rapidly infecting him. He's having an allergic reaction. He can't stand. Cypher says to open the med kit and inject antitoxic liquids in sequence. But Jaden can't see, asking for his dad to come help him. Did he not remember the broken legs?
It looks like he's having the same shellfish allergy that Will Smith had in Hitch.
Yep.
My note, Hitch 2.
Son of Hitch.
Dylan, you son of a Hitch.
He's struggling with the second injection because he can't feel his hand anymore. Cypher says to push it into the ground. Jaden falls onto it, injecting it into his heart. Cypher explains there was a paralyzing venom from that parasite. Now Earth is getting cold. He's got to wake up and get to a hot spot. Temperatures drop 5 degrees every 10 minutes, just like San Francisco.
Wow.
I hate San Francisco weather. It's all over the place, Maze.
Wow.
You know it's true.
It's really not all over the place because it's the same every goddamn day. Most of the time it's just foggy and like 60 degrees.
Cypher's struggling to wake him up. He finally blinks. They have an awkward hey exchange.
Hey, Dad. That sucked.
9.7 kilometers to the hot spot. Show me that 10K in 50 minutes. Cypher's also trying to perform surgery on himself.
Yeah, he gives himself an arterial shunt, which is basically connecting a tube from one part of the artery above the brake to below. Great job.
Dr. House over here.
Tell the truth.
Jaden is saying to himself, as he's running, I fucking love this. Who was an advanced ranger? Who was it? Watch him go. Watch him go. I think he's pumping himself up.
I was asleep through all of this.
Really? You didn't go back and watch it?
I did, but at some point I was like, if I rewind all the way back to the moment I fell asleep.
You'll fall asleep again?
First of all, I'll fall asleep again. Second of all, we won't be able to record this on time. So
Cypher's losing focus. Flashback to Senshi's 19th birthday. They're FaceTiming her birthday cake. She says to blow out the candles. He says that she knows he can't actually blow them out over FaceTime. He asks his wife to do it. She says to do it. He's worried about looking dumb in front of the other soldiers. He blows on the screen. Jaden from behind the camera blows them out. They're all laughing. I don't understand what that was supposed to be.
Family.
Was it just showing that he had kids?
Yeah, and he was an absentee dad. Like, it definitely wasn't a positive memory.
Jaden gets to the hot spot. Cypher says to do an equipment check, take his next inhaler. 2 of the inhalers are broken. He doesn't have enough of them. Cypher says to count off remaining, and he lies about it, but there's a detected increase in heart rate.
He's got a lie detector basically strapped to him.
It's nighttime, and it's raining, and he asks his dad how he first ghosted. Says he was out for a run alone, which you're not supposed to do.
This is when I really slept, and I actually woke up. I rewound to this part to watch, and I put the note, a lot of whispering, and I'm done with this movie.
Ursa decamoed in front of him. He went for his cutlass. The Ursa shot its pincer right through his shoulder.
This might not be the worst movie we've watched, but it is certainly the most boring.
Couldn't we get a flashback
of this happening?
Of him fighting the Ursa?
It would have been great.
Rather than him FaceTiming into a birthday party?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Well, we didn't have the Gemini Man technology yet to make him younger. Otherwise, we would have done it. Is this the worst Will Smith movie we've done?
It's worse than Wild Wild West.
It's way worse than Wild Wild West. It's worse than Gemini Man.
It's worse than Gemini Man?
Yeah, by far.
Next thing he knows, they're over a cliff. He's talking about how the Ursa was on top of him. Tension?
Yeah, I bet it was.
It wasn't moving. It was trying to drown Cypher. He was thinking he was going to die. He couldn't believe this was how he was going to die.
BTB, bro.
He can see the blood bubbling up, mixing with the sunlight, shining through the water, and he thought, wow, that's really pretty. And that's when everything slowed down. He saw the pincer in his shoulder, and he decided he didn't want that in there anymore. Pulled it out, lets him go, and he realizes that the Ursa can't find him, doesn't know where to look. Dawned on him that fear is not real. The only place fear can exist is in their thoughts of the future.
Fear is not real.
Product of their imagination.
That is near insanity, Katai.
Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. This is actually a good lesson. There's a better way to present it, but this is actually a good lesson.
It's not a good lesson because fear is not a choice and fear is not a bad thing. The reason you get adrenaline and are able to run faster and be stronger in dangerous situations is because you are fearful. If you were not fearful, you would not get that boost and you would probably die.
It's debatable. Because how do you explain killing the Ursa?
Bad movie.
Next morning, Jaden's on the move. He finds a severed arm and a bunch of murdered monkeys.
So many.
There's a lot of murdered monkeys.
He went to town on the monkeys.
It might be the Ursa. We don't know. Cypher says to get to the falls ASAP. Jaden hears water. He's standing above these massive waterfalls.
I hear something. I think it's water. A lot of it.
Your accent is way too good, Maze. Like, you are giving him
It's actually way too good.
Too much credit.
Well, yeah, it's like a British person trying to do a bad American accent. That's what their accents sound like. He does an evaluation of inventory, lies again about the breathing vials. Cypher demands that he shows the case, sees that only half the vials are there, and Jaden says he thought he could make it. The only way to survive is a sky jump. Cypher says to abort the mission. Return to the ship.
So he's standing on this Pride Rock tree edition over these waterfalls.
We've had a lot of Lion King references the last couple episodes.
And there's this weird cycle that happens where I edit one of the pods from 3 weeks ago right before we do a new pod. And earlier in the movie when we're on Nova Prime, I kept thinking about CGI City.
We built this city. We built this city on CGI. Built this city.
But that's something else completely.
Hold on. Let me just say, 90% of my remaining notes. Strap in, boys.
Cypher sees that he has to do a sky jump in order to make it in time, but he never tells Jaden this.
Right, and then we get a flashback to Jaden in the bubble. Since she says don't come out no matter what, he watched her die.
Fucking murked over and over again, dude.
He squeaks, "No, Dad, I can do it. He could reach it in just 2. Cypher says he takes full responsibility and did his best. And then Jaden squeaks again, "You got to cut this whole thing in. What was your mistake? Trusting me? Depending on me, thinking I could do this?" Or maybe don't cut it in. Just let me do the impression. And Cypher says he's giving him an order to return to the ship. "You wouldn't give any other ranger that order." Says, "You're not a ranger, and I'm giving you that order." "What was I supposed to do? What did you want me to do? She gave me an order."
"You sound like one of the peasants in Monty Python."
"She said no matter what, don't come out of that box. Was I supposed to come out and die?"
He's 6 years old, by the way.
He was. It's a 6-year-old. It's like a fucking Spartan soldier looking at a 5-year-old going, "You're not going to pick up that spear?" This is Sparta. What are you doing?
You know, he blames himself for how Senshi died. Like, what?
Oh, he says, what do you think, cadet? What do you think you should have done? Because that's really all that matters. And where were you? She called out for you. She called your name. You weren't there because you're never there. You think I'm a coward? You're wrong. I'm not a coward. You're the coward. I'm not a coward. We are the knights who say nay. Then he jumps off the fucking falls and he's sky surfing.
You're actually good at that impression, man. Like I don't think I've ever heard you do an impression of anything before.
I mean, I have seen this movie 7 times. I better be good at this. As he's falling, a giant bird starts chasing him. He dives, he veers towards the water, he nearly escapes, and then the bird snatches him. And I wrote the next note, this movie's flying by.
Is it?
Now, Jaden wakes up in a nest with baby birds hatching and pecking at him. Some kind of jungle cats are trying to get into the nest.
The baby birds. We built these birdies. We built these birdies on CGI.
It's funny. I don't know if it's going to have the same effect. It's funny because the Catwoman episode came out today.
No, this is going to be a drop going forward for sure.
Hearing it in Catwoman, at first I was like, ha, he did it. Then the second time and third time I was like, okay, maybe we were overdoing it. Then when he said, we built this sushi, I fucking lost it, man. And then I rooted for it to come back more and more.
It really is expert editing. Birds attacking the cats.
We built this kitty. We built this kitty on CGI.
Slow down. Now it's attacking Jaden. The bird pulls it out and drops it out of the sky. Another one gets in the nest. It's about to attack Jaden. He notices the shaky craftsmanship of the nest floor. He jumps to the side of the cat, hits him through the nest floor. Bird screeches at him and then leaves.
That sequence was awful.
Oh, what? Awesome.
He does like a little running side jump in place.
I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed lately during the quarantine. It reminded me of Assassin's Creed.
He just bitch slapped it through the floor.
Hey, cat shouldn't act like a bitch then.
I just like how the bird recognizes, no, you weren't the one that killed it.
Oh, respect. Respect to you, bro.
Respect. Even though I brought you here.
These are birds 1,000 years in the future, I mean.
Even though all the babies are dead.
Well, that's... He gets to the ground.
Not only all the babies are dead, but I brought you to my nest to feed my babies with.
There is a slew of dead baby birds on the ground.
Yeah.
Mama bird is pissed at the dead babies. And now his naviband is broken. Remember, that's the only way he can communicate with Cypher. I don't know if you remember that exposition. Cypher can't find him on the drone cameras, but does see murdered crew members hung up to invoke fear. It's the Ursa's signature. A lot of Circle of Life happening right now in this movie.
Complete with the you guys see the wild boar family?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wrote, we built these piggies. We built these piggies on CGI.
At least up to this point, sometimes Will Smith would talk to Jaden and vice versa. And then when the Naviband breaks, it's like, all right.
Talks even more.
But they're just by themselves. Like, it's just the two of them sitting in a green screen.
Honestly, I think at some point they thought about bringing the Force into this. I really think that. And then they just decided against it. Because it's the only way to explain the next half of the movie with the communication.
No, it's obviously about education.
Jaden goes to some kind of cave. They've got flying snakes in this cave. And he's basically like just next to lava.
I thought the snakes had hands. I didn't know.
Oh, it has hands? I thought it had wings. Like a flying squirrel type of thing. Cypher records a heartfelt message for his wife. What is it? I've lost contact with our son. End message.
Yeah, good job, guy.
In the cave, Jaden's breaking down the path to the tail of the ship on the cave with chalk that he somehow has. He's running through the forest now. The bird is above him. He screams, leave me alone! Leave me alone! He has one breathing vial left. The clock's ticking. He's building a raft for the river. He starts moseying down the river. It's going very slowly. Like, would it have been faster to run and walk than to go on this river?
Well, you need to take a nap like Amin did on this raft.
Slept through all this. Don't remember the bird. Don't remember him talking to the bird. Don't remember a river.
Well, he's asleep on the raft. We see his sister kneeling over him on the raft, saying to wake up. It's time for you to wake up. Says to her that he was just about to come out that day. She laughs and says, no, you weren't. Even she knows he's a bitch. He says he did the right thing, and Dad is just mad at himself. He says, why couldn't you ghost? And she doesn't answer. Asks if he's scared. He says he's tired. She says he filled his heart with something else. says to get up. He starts reciting Moby Dick that he memorized to her. She turns her head suddenly, and it looks like the murdered version of her, and says to wake up. And now he's up! He's moving through the forest. It's getting colder. Frost is forming everywhere. His suit is turning white. It's too cold. He's not going to make it, and he collapses. To which my next note was, what if the movie ended here? Do you think Amin would like it?
No, but I'd like it more.
Because you were asleep at this point?
Yeah, because I was asleep at this point.
Something drags his body away, but we don't see it. We see the perspective of him getting dragged, and now he's covered. It's next morning. He wakes up covered in some kind of brush, I think, or maybe it was wings, because he comes out and it's the giant bird. To which he then says, hey, thanks.
And the bird's dead.
To a dead bird.
Frozen to death.
Sacrificed itself. Finally became a parent, though. Circle of life. He's walking, finds some debris from the tail of the ship. He knows he's close. Jaden climbs to a tree to look for the ship. He finds it. There's a volcano in the background that just looks like a screenshot of an erupting volcano. He grabs more breathing vials and another cutlass. He finds the Ursa cage and it's broken open, and that's when I make the note. It looks like COVID.
So we never saw him lose the cutlass, but somewhere between the river and getting to the new ship, he lost the cutlass.
Would have been nice to know.
I know cutlass means sword, like one of those pirate swords.
Freaking Swiss Army knife.
But every time they say the cutlass, I always think of like a Cutlass Supreme, like the Oldsmobile.
Right, yeah.
And I say, he lost the cutlass. Oh, shit, Dad's going to whoop my ass. He loved that car.
We're back to Cypher and his bypass failed. He's having flashbacks of toddler Jaden. Jaden puts a new Naviband on, grabs the beacon, and tries to contact Cypher, tells him he's made it to the tail. But Cypher is in rough shape. Jaden can't hear him, and there's electrical interference because he's in a black zone, guys.
Black zone!
Beacon won't function properly because of the interference.
General exposition.
Jaden starts pouting. He starts smashing the ship in frustration, to which I wrote the note. How about use your words, Jaden? He's just a whiny little coward.
He's not a coward. Zach, are you going 100 kilometers in 5 days or whatever the fuck?
Absolutely, but I don't know what that means.
Absolutely.
That could be 5 miles, it could be 1,000 miles. I don't know.
You're in Canada. You have to go 100 kilometers to get to the Raptors game.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's down the street to a Tim Hortons. I don't know if that's across to, Montreal. I don't know. All right, he takes the knee. Cypher's explaining why the beacon isn't firing. That's when Jaden realizes it on his own. That's when I thought that they were going to say they were using the Force or some kind.
This is Prime Commander exposition at his whispering best.
Jaden makes his way through the forest, sees the killed soldier. Cypher says it's a pheromone trigger set to scare him, but again, cannot hear him because they can't communicate. Cypher sees that the Ursa found him. Jaden is now booking it up the volcano. He's parkouring over the lava.
He can't hear him?
No, there's electrical interference.
Oh.
Will can hear Jaden, but Jaden can't hear Will.
His suit turns black.
Because that's how interference works in 3071.
He panics, and he busts out the beacon. It still won't work, and the Cypher wants him to run.
If it smells fear and it can't see, wouldn't it be better not to tell him when it's right by him?
Jaden is hiding in some kind of cave of the mountain. The Ursa is above him. It decamos. It drops toward him. Jaden runs as the Ursa spits venom at him. He jumps into some water. The Cypher's fading away.
Ursa spits venom at him. We built this spitty. We built this spitty on CG. I built this spitty. We built this spitty on CGI. That's my last note.
Best part is when I don't do the drop for Amin and it's just him singing.
Yeah.
It sounded like when he dropped down from the ceiling that it was the Jurassic Park T-Rex noise.
It did sound like that, and also they stole that from the movie Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
You're just in a rope.
Jaden swims toward light. He crawls out of a cave towards sunlight. Ursa jumps up, grabs his foot, uses the cutlass to keep from falling. It hurts his leg with a pincer. Climbs out of it. He gets to a summit area. Ursa is climbing after him. Jaden is scanning the beacon. Ursa grabs him and ragdolls his ass. He's struggling. He flashes back to his sister saying he won't be able to smell him. And then she dies as she calls out for her dad. Cypher's words of rooting himself in the present moment play in his head.
Sight, sound, smell. What do you feel?
He feels blood in his hand. He calms himself. Goes back to the raft where his sister said he's still in that box. It's time to come out. He sees the falling ash in slow motion. Things are slowing down for him, just like his dad described.
And then he never called the Ursa again. Credits.
Ursa's above him. Walks right over him. It can't find him. He's fearless, and he is fucking ghosting. Ghost City population Jaden Smith. Ursa's attacking him. Jaden picks up the cutlass, chops a leg off.
Ghost City!
We built Ghost City on shitty screenplay. Chops a leg off, he throws a blade, he dodges venom. Ursa's about to step on the beacon. Jaden power slides under it, saves the beacon, guts the stomach. Jaden sort of looks like a badass right now as he starts ghosting. And that's when I write, it makes me think that the cowardly little bitch vibe that he was given earlier was all acting. Which, you know what that makes, Maze?
Wow.
That's right. He was retroactively acting his ass off.
Wow. He fooled you.
He fooled me 100%. He jumps on the back of the Ursa. He stabs him with the two blades. Before the Ursa can drop them both off the mountain, he kills him. Cypher looks lifeless watching it. He grabs the beacon. He fires a beam into all of the universe. And almost instantly, a recovery team is there.
So fast.
They cut into the ship. They find Cypher. They carry him out. Jaden walks up to him as someone's watching the video of him kill. Do they have highlights of these things?
Yeah. Ghost highlights.
Medical team is attending to Cypher. Cypher moves one of them aside, looks at Jaden, and says, "Stand me up." Which I wrote, this is not the time, Cypher, for these meaningless gestures. You're dying.
There's the worst slow motion before this, as everybody is gathering around him, and he pushes them aside so he can see his son and do the stupid fucking callback to the one-legged veteran from the beginning of the movie.
Also, there's a dude standing there who is of no help whatsoever.
No help at all.
You ever have like people carrying a couch and you kind of just reach out and touch the couch, but you're not actually like carrying it or doing anything other than just maintaining contact?
Right.
That's what that dude was doing.
They stand him up. He's struggling. He salutes Jaden. He's kind of acting his ass off too while he's doing this. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Jaden hugs him. We have the father and son bonding camping trip accomplished.
Dad.
Yeah.
I want to work with Mom.
Me too.
The rescue ship takes off. Jaden is sitting with Cypher as they attend to his leg. Close-up of Jaden nodding. Ship over the water as whales leap. It flies off into the distance. Roll credits.
Save the whales.
And then, Amin, did you notice the after-credit scene?
No, I immediately turned off.
Oh, that's when Nick Fury recruits Jaden Smith to be an Avenger. Although not credited on the finished film, Will Smith was responsible for much of the movie's direction.
Yeah.
What did M. Night Shyamalan do? Apparently just the blocking.
Yeah, he just did like the visual stuff, right?
He put the camera in the scene.
Right.
He put the camera on the green screen set.
Pretty much.
Will Smith coached Jaden in his performance and dictated the development of the story and the on-screen action.
It did all the actual directing, like from the how this movie should go. And all M. Night Shyamalan did was the visuals, the shots, etc. But when it got criticized so harshly, particularly for the direction and the coaching of the acting, M. Night Shyamalan took the L, man, and that is fucking...
That's a good teammate, man.
But dude, he didn't pay him back for it even.
Wow.
Like, you took that L and Will Smith was like, all right, I'm going to be a beloved dude on Instagram, and yeah, you're going to be a laughingstock in this industry forever.
He got to do Split?
He's actually back. That's what's weird is... pretty much after this movie was Split and the resurgence.
Maybe Scientology owed him one.
Yeah, maybe they broke him off some thetan levels.
The original cut of this movie was 130 minutes long. So you got 30 minutes less.
I would have literally traveled to LA and stabbed you. And then called the cops. Like, yep, I did it. Here's why I did it. No need for a trial. I plead guilty.
It was vastly re-edited after performing poorly at test screenings. Any actors playing Nova primates were either reduced to extras or cut out entirely from the movie.
I am mad we missed out on the term Nova primates.
Yeah, me too.
Man animal!
The original idea of the film was a father and son on a camping trip. And after their car traveling careens off the road, the son makes his way through the forest to find help for the father. Realizing that the idea had greater potential, producer Will Smith and screenwriter Gary Whitta decided to adapt the basic survival concept into a much larger science fiction project.
I wish Gary would have not done that.
The original screenplay was written by Gary Whitta, based on Will Smith's idea. M. Night Shyamalan did a few drafts on the screenplay to familiarize himself with the material before giving it to Stephen Gaghan, who stayed on as chief screenwriter during production, and Mark Bowl, who wrote Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, also worked on the script.
This is the insane part to me. Will Smith envisioned this as a multi-platform franchise with books, graphic novels, and interactive video games.
That is where it's like Battlefield Earth.
There was a 300-page Bible covering the history of mankind from their decision to leave Earth to the events depicted in the finished film. It was intended to serve as a resource for all kinds of ancillary materials in the After Earth franchise. To be fair, this made $230. They should have released it.
No, because the estimated worldwide marketing budget for After Earth was approximately $100 million in addition to the $130 million budget.
So they broke even. Or they made $4 million. That's not bad.
Run it back!
If I tell you you're going to make $4 million, you're kicking that out of bed? I don't think so.
They made an After Earth prequel. Would it be before After Earth?
Right. Pre-After Earth. Crafter Earth. Shout out to Chris Cody.
When Christopher Heavejew, a.k.a. Tormund, showed up on set, he got into a discussion with the makeup department.
Christopher who?
Heavejew.
Okay. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to call him Tormund.
Yeah, relax, Deshaun Jackson.
Tormund was against it and was even supported by Jaden Smith, but eventually lost out. To make matters worse, most of his role was eventually deleted from the final cut. In a 2019 lecture at NYU's Stern School of Business, Shyamalan publicly disowned his films Last Airbender and After Earth, calling them junk movies. He added, "I did a couple huge, big-budget CGI movies. There's always been this inexorable pull to join the group, a constant seduction in the form of whatever you want to tally in the form of money, for safety, ease, not getting criticized. I did these movies, and I rightfully got crushed because they said, you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in your own voice, and you don't believe in your values. I felt really lost. It just didn't work."
Who said that about M. Night Shyamalan?
There's probably something Darwinian about all this.
Who said that about him? Like, his career was going great before this movie. Shut up.
Yo, this is rock bottom, though, after Airbender and After Earth.
Yeah.
I'm sure they said a lot of shit. This isn't a washed king situation, I mean.
Right, no, this is actual. There was some shit said about him.
People have been saying it was shitty way before this.
Is Last Airbender that bad? I've never seen it. I know nothing about it.
I saw it. It's pretty bad.
It's one of the most beloved anime, so I feel like the people who like it...
did he make a live action version?
Live action, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Kids action movie type thing. So I feel like the fans of it probably just hated it, and then everybody else, why would they like it?
Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
Will Smith, who had wanted to work with M. Night Shyamalan for several years, but was unable to find a suitable project, personally hired him to direct. This became the first time in 20 years that Shyamalan accepted a project based on someone else's screenplay, and the first film in Shyamalan's career where he does not appear on screen. A month after the release of The Last Airbender, Will Smith contacted Shyamalan on August 6, 2010 to wish him a happy birthday on his 40th birthday, and also to persuade him to direct his film with Jaden Smith as the star.
Not a great birthday present.
In 2014, it won 3 Razzie Awards: Worst Actor Jaden Smith, Worst Supporting Actor Will Smith, and Worst Acting Combo Will and Jaden Smith.
That's not fair. That's not a real category.
Yeah, it's a little overkill there.
Sometimes the sum is greater than its parts.
Sometimes the parts are greater than the sum. You know what I mean?
No.
Tony Medley didn't review this, which I am very devastated about. What are we on, Golden Dumpster?
Let's just wrap this shit up, Phobe.
I have no fucking Golden Dumpster now. What do I fucking know? There's nobody in this movie! There's 2 people in this movie! Will Smith sits in a chair for 2 hours while he bleeds out.
Oh man, I'm torn because there are two that I want to nominate. One is Jaden Smith retroactively acting his ass off. Because what a turn that was, just from a performance standpoint. The other one I want to nominate is just the pile of dead, mutilated monkeys.
Okay. Sure.
I think I'm going to go the pile of dead, mutilated monkeys.
My Golden Dumpster is, Mayday, Mayday, this is Hesper 2999er. We took heavy damage in an asteroid storm and going down the bingo power.
Bingo power.
It literally just said, I'm just going to make up words. Let's just make up words here.
I'm just going to do the accents, I guess.
Yeah, the accents are great, man.
We gave a lot of shine to Jaden Smith's accent, but whatever the fuck Will Smith is doing is notable as well.
Yeah, he's in and out of it, too. He doesn't commit to it. What happened to him? I mean, he was great for a long time.
I think we know, Zach, and I think it's also what's happened to you.
What's happened?
It's called thetan levels going through the roof.
What does that mean?
You're a Scientologist.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Who's acting his ass off now?
I am not. Oh man, who said that? Prove it.
That's my first note for this movie. Zach is a Scientologist.
It has to be.
Based on what?
Based on your movie choices.
Based on this fucking pick.
You picked Battlefield Earth.
And then you filed it.
Great movie.
How is the Scientology yacht operating these days in COVID? Is it still just anybody comes in and out, or?
How would I know? I mean, come on, guys. Like, is the kitchen great? Yes. Jesus, like, I'm supposed to know these things about Scientology? Phenomenal crab cakes.
This whole thing has been one long con. Like, it's one infomercial for Scientology. This entire podcast, 47 episodes.
Is it a coincidence that my weed dispensary and a Scientology center are right next to each other? Probably. I didn't plan the city. I think I planned North Hollywood.
Zach, we've got some old tweets here.
Okay.
From an @TalkHoops.
All right.
May 31st, 2013. On Rotten Tomatoes, 3 separate reviews compare After Earth to Battlefield Earth. @TalkHoops, sold.
I stand by that. I mean, they're very close movies.
They both have Earth in the title. June 1st, 2013. 1 for After Earth, the worst thing I've requested since 2 for Van Helsing, which really makes me want to pick Van Helsing now.
You took a date to Van Helsing? You took a date? Hold on.
No. I didn't take a date to Van Helsing. I went with my friend Trevor.
Trevor's really bummed out to find out that wasn't a date.
I mean, we fucked, but it wasn't a date.
January 1st, 2014, New Year's Day. I forgot I saw After Earth. My God, what a horrendous experience.
Oof. Yeah, that was a rough one.
January 31st, 2014. Don't check the movie channels. Just write the recap /sees After Earth just started. Shit. 6 minutes later, just none of the plot in After Earth makes sense. So many holes. April 9th, 2014, I stand by seeing After Earth in the theater. January 31st, 2015, turns channel the last hour of After Earth. And then finally, June 16th, 2018. The only way to know you're actually on Team Dead Inside is if you turn the channel to After Earth, no matter what, without hesitation when you see it's on.
Again, I've seen this movie 7 times. I stand by all those thoughts. It's a progression.
So, I mean, you know, we've been dying all episode. We're not sure which way you're going to go on this.
Oh, I thought you said we've been dying, just like literally dying, because this movie is so bad. It's a phobe.
Because we performed an arterial shunt on our own legs.
I've been wanting to make a shunt joke the entire time, and I just can't.
Shunt do it.
Yeah. No, the problem is I want it to be something to do with shark, and I just couldn't. And it's fitting, because this is the last episode ever of Cinephobe, so I just, fuck it, phobe.
So you don't have a leg to stand on with this.
Stand me up!
That was a phobe?
Yes, that was a phobe.
I just wanted to officially record it. Okay. Maze?
I was legitimately worried we weren't going to have anything to fucking talk about on this podcast, because this was the most boring, slow, unnecessary, somehow cost $130 million movie we've done. It is a phobe. We are ice cold.
So this is where it gets interesting. Now, I did legitimately hate it. The first time I saw this movie, it was the Eastern Conference Finals in 2013, and I was in Indianapolis on an off day, and didn't really have anything to do. And I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. Just gonna go. And there were people. I remember there were people that applauded the end of the movie.
Allegedly 20 people in Indianapolis, according to your tweets.
that was, but like legitimately, it ended and people applauded, which I can't stand when that happens with a movie anyway. It was odd to see it with this movie. And I legitimately was just angry at myself for seeing it. And then you watch it on TV a couple of times and it grows on you. I really think by the 4th or 5th viewing, you'll really start to come around on this movie. Now, you may not like it, but I don't think you'll hate it anymore. And so, what's my rule? if it's on TV, will I turn it on? That's usually a file for me, right? However, Sci-Fi did take it off their app. So I don't think I could watch it on TV at this point. So I'm torn. I don't know what to do. Because logistically, it's impossible to file this movie. And yet, I feel like I want to, because the more I watch it, I feel like the more that my brain is firing on a different plane. What is this noise? Someone put file in the spreadsheet for me. Who put file in the spreadsheet? I didn't even say it. Did you do that?
I didn't do anything.
Come on, man.
Maze, did you file it for me?
Wrap that shit up, B!
Look, who am I to argue with the spreadsheet? I'd watch it again. Fuck you guys. It's a file.
Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. Well, it was a hell of a run, boys.
Next time we make love, you introduce me to Jade.
Let's pretend we had another episode after this. What would the pick be, Maze?
Okay, so we've been fucking ice cold. Remember when we did Along Came Polly and Tango and Cash back to back? That feels like last year. It has been a dark path. I'm tired of this shit. We're doing Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh, no.